Okay, welcome everyone. We are here with Miss Kathryn Greene from DIFFIT today. We're so excited to have her. Along on this call, we have our current president, Ali Schlattfeld. Wave, Ali. There we go. We have our secretary, Brittany Coomer from Bartholomew down the south. I'm Kyle Klein, past president, also your host for right now. So we're excited to get going here. Kathryn, welcome. Guys, you're out in nice California. We're here in dreary Indiana, but I'm sure you're gonna make our days a lot brighter here today.
I hope so. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here to share a little bit about DIFFIT. I know we've got 20 minutes. You guys have already had a jam-packed day of amazing information so far. So I'm just going to dive right in. I am the content and community lead for DIFFIT, and our goal at DIFFIT is to help teachers make just right instructional materials. And really the best way to show you this is to just go ahead and use it. So we're going to hop right in to DIFFIT. To get to DIFFIT, you go to diffit.me. And to start out, it looks just like this. You can tell it literally any topic. You can give it an article or a video link, or you can upload a PDF or copy over any text that you have. Then you can choose the grade level and you can choose the language. So to get us started, we're going to just go with causes of the French Revolution. I'm a former history teacher who also has the loudest keyboard ever. So I apologize if it's real loud. I'm going to set this for, let's go ahead and do 9th grade and keep it in English for now. When you use our literally anything tab, it's going to look at a bunch of different sources and pull them all together into an adapted reading passage for the grade level and the language of your choice. But it's also going to create vocabulary questions. It's going to create a quick summary, multiple choice questions. It'll suggest an image. So here we've got our suggested image. If this isn't the right image for you, you can look at the other ones. You can see the sourcing info. You can add your own, or if you don't want an image at all, you can say no image. So we go further down. Here's that reading passage I was talking to you about. So what makes this a little bit different is that we're going to show you where we got all the information. If you click show sources, you've got this list here of sources. And if there's one you're like, oh, I don't really want it to use this Wikipedia article, no problem. Say edit sources, unclick, and then you can regenerate. It'll rewrite it without that source. So we've got our reading passage here. We can see the sourcing information, our summary, vocabulary, which what I love about our vocabulary, it's always context specific based on the reading above. It's got that definition and example sentence, multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and open-ended prompts. And then again, our goal is just right student activities. So you say get student activities, and you have all of these to choose from. We've got vocabulary-based ones, writing strategies, strategies for collaboration, and critical thinking. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of our collaboration ones. Let's go ahead and grab a personal favorite, our collaborative partner work slides, and say get activity. It's going to take everything it just created and throw it into those slides for me, so I don't really have to do any copy pasting. You can still go through and edit, fine-tune it, make it just right for your students. But it will go ahead and throw everything into either Google Slides, a PDF, or a PowerPoint for you. I'm going to open with slides just so we can take a look. We've got our teacher instructions here, key vocabulary, a notice and wonder activity with that image. And then the reading you'll see has been chunked by paragraphs for students to work with. And this one's collaborative. They start on their own doing like, what do you notice? What do you wonder? And then they share with a partner what they both noticed and what they both wondered. I'm going to head back here and show you how you can take this to the next level. You've created your first resource, but maybe you have students in your classroom whose home language is not English. No problem. Go to translate. And here you can choose one of over 70 different languages. If there's a language you need that you don't see, let us know. We're going to go ahead and translate this into Spanish. And it'll keep that original one. So I can always go back to that original one. I can edit it, change it, adapt it. I can always have that one to go back to, and then I'm going to have the second version in Spanish that I can, again, export into those resources. We go down here, and it's translated for us. To see the original one, I head to My Resources, and we've got our 9th grade one in English and our 8th grade one in Spanish. Now, I'm trying to see how many more minutes I have. Okay, I'm doing okay on time. So let's go go into my next favorite part. Maybe you have a resource you absolutely love. You have a video. I used to use Crash Course in my class all the time. So I'm going to grab this Crash Course video, grab the link for it. As long as it's a YouTube video with a transcript, we're going to be able to help you create resources that go along with it. So if we click on an article or video link, you can paste in that link. Either keep original, which if you do that, it's going to use the entire transcript, or adapt it. Let's adapt this one for a 6th grade classroom and keep it in English. It's now going to take that transcript and adapt it into a reading summary, and also have the vocabulary words, the multiple choice questions, the short answer questions, the open-ended prompts. And again, you can still throw all of that into those graphic organizers. And we have both printable and digital activities that you can export the resources into, because we know every classroom is different and we want teachers to be able to get it just right. So here is that video. Again, suggested images. The first one's going to be that YouTube thumbnail that comes up. Here's the reading and all of the resources that go with it. A lot of ways, or one of the ways that teachers say that they use our video one is they'll show the video in class, then have the students read, then have them engage with the questions with partners or in groups. It's a great way to take a video to the next level in your classroom. You could always pair it with something like Edpuzzle and then throw the Google Slides into Pear Deck and really take it to the next level. The next thing I want to show you, I'm going to go back to Start New, is you can do the same thing with an article. But let's say the article is where you want it to be for your students. It's at the right reading level, but it looks like this. All these ads, kind of a mess. Let's grab that link, say copy. We're going to start on article and video again. And this time we're going to say keep original. So now it's not going to adapt the reading for a particular grade level. Instead, it's going to keep the original text and create resources to go with that original text. It's going to pull vocabulary from that original text. It's going to create questions that go along with it, a summary. It's going to create those open-ended prompts, all tied to the original text. This is great if you're like a history teacher and you're using primary sources in the classroom. This is great, again, if you have a resource that you want your students to engage with, but you need that additional support creating the questions. Here, it took that original article. We can see the full text. It's a long one. I picked a long one. We've got those vocabulary words from the reading, our multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and open-ended prompts. And again, you've got this original one here, but let's say you have a group of students in your classroom you want to create modifications for, or you want to adapt it. Let's go ahead and rewrite this at an 8th grade reading level. And it will keep that original one, so we can still export all of that to our activity library, and also create a version at that reading level or the language of your choice. With all of these, again, once you've got it just right, you can say get student activities and export to our printable and digital activities. This one's going to be a printable Google Doc that goes through the reading, the questions, the vocabulary. And again, we also have PDF and Microsoft versions available, or you can share directly to Classroom. Now, the last thing I want to show, I'm doing okay on time. All right. Like, keep looking at the clock. The last thing I want to show here is how you can edit and fine tune everything. As a former teacher myself, I taught 5 periods a day. I had 190 students, and every single class period, every single student was a little bit different, right? And so we want to be able to make those accommodations as much as possible. Here, you can say add vocabulary words. You can add more from the reading, or you can add your own list to get this exactly how you need it to be for your students. If you add your own list of words here, it's going to create definitions and example sentences based on the context of the reading above. With our multiple choice questions, you can add more by DOK level. So if you want to focus on that strategic thinking, we can go here, add 3, and say generate. And it's going to create more questions from the reading. Same with our short answer questions, but not with our open-ended prompts. And the reason why our open-ended prompts don't do that is because they're all going to be that extended thinking. They're all going to be pulling in previous knowledge or other content areas, asking students to connect it to their own life and their own experiences. Again, with all of these, once you have them just right, you click Get Student Activities, and we have this library of over 90, actually, I think we're at 100 now, 100 different graphic organizers and activities you can export to. And if there's one you want that you don't see here, you can let us know, and we are always adding more. Now, it looks like I have about 10 minutes left. So what questions do we have?
I have a simple question. Is it true that you create most of these templates?
It is true that I have created all of the templates that you see.
It is amazing. You're doing an amazing job. I don't know if anybody ever tells you that enough, but
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh, it's fabulous. So fabulous.
It's like one of my favorite parts of the job is that like every couple of weeks I get to sit down and just build a bunch of templates. And we have, because we ask for template feedback in DIFFIT, I get to read through like what teachers want and then design them all. So it's super fun.
Oh man, that sounds amazing. Well, you're doing a fabulous job. So,
thank you.
Brittany, Allie, I know you girls have something to add.
I love DIFFIT. I love Kathryn. She's amazing. So, and I would reiterate that I wondered if you were making all the templates. So I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I followed you on Twitter and stuff when I was a social studies teacher before you worked for DIFFIT. So love the resources. And I also just love that there's always new ones that are being added. Like a lot of the collaborative activities and ones that can really structure a discussion are ones that I love seeing on there, because I love to do those activities with my students, but I don't feel like I was always the best at coming up with a way to organize it to where I felt comfortable letting 7th graders like have a discussion without me like guiding them through all of it. So I love that those can get structure, and it's so easy to use, especially for some of our teachers who maybe haven't tried something like that before in the classroom.
Thank you. And speaking on the like discussion and collaboration piece, is we always, you know, as the person who creates the templates, pretty much every single activity we create, we try and include some type of talking with others, whether it's partner work, whether it's working with a small group, and we try and give really structured, like those open-ended questions are always going to be some kind of conversation students are having, because we know that all the research says when students talk about what they've learned, it's going to be more impactful. It's going to be a little bit more sticky for them. And so that's really important that we get students talking about what they just learned. So there's almost always partner work or group work in every single one. The only ones that don't have that as of right now would be the Google Forms and then the printable Google Docs. But other than that, every single activity has students working with partners or a small group to talk through what they've learned and make those real connections.
That's so cool. This is the first time that I've seen DIFFIT, other than like, you know, just Twitter and things like that. It's not one that I've dove into. So my question is, as soon as I send this live stream to our teachers on Monday when we return from spring break, what do I tell them? Where do they start? Is it free? Do I have to go to my board and ask for money? Like, what do I do?
Yes, so we're on a freemium model. So when teachers sign up, they're going to automatically get 60 days of our premium version for free. But you can be assured that we have a free for teachers version always. So teachers can always, if they run out of their premium trial, they're not able to get premium through their school or their district, or they don't want to buy the individual license, they're always going to be able to create as many resources as they need. The things that fall under our premium side of things would be advanced customizations, and the majority of our export library, though not all of it. We have rotating free this month exports available. But yeah, like use the 60 days.
Yeah.
Don't make as much as you want. It's what we always tell teachers, like log on, like it's okay. Make your whole year's worth of lessons right now. That's totally fine.
That's awesome. I'm so excited to dive in.
Sorry to interrupt you. Oh, sorry. The other thing is once it goes from premium to free, you don't lose anything you've created. So all those resources under my resources will still be there for you. Anything you've exported will still be there for you. Great question.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm curious to see, since I've seen you present on this a couple different times and there's been so many teachers using this. I think I first learned about DIFFIT through TikTok, actually. My younger sister is like much trendier than me, and she's the one who shared it with me. She keeps me young is what I always say. But I was wondering, what are some really exciting examples of how teachers have used this, or user cases from students, something that might be inspirational to people who are watching this?
Yeah, let me find the right slides for this. So we actually have a whole Wakelet available of, oh no, Is it logging? It's being so slow. Okay, there we go. There we go. Of how teachers are using it. But some of my personal favorites are really seeing how teachers are using it to differentiate or support like individual learning. So this example of a 5th grade teacher who was working, their students were working on projects and they were able to really enhance what students were learning and give them customized, like if your project's about this, here's a reading for you. If your project's about this, here's your reading for you, without a lot of lift for the teacher. Another really good example is if you're on Twitter, Stephanie here, if you see this one where she says day 132, she's constantly using it to make sure that her multilingual students have access to the same content in her class by doing like side-by-side readings of the topic. I like this Wakelet is like my favorite thing in the entire world because it's just real teacher examples of how teachers are using it in the classroom. Because of the way that our resources are designed, let me hop back to one. It's easy for you to just like take what works best for you. So using like just the vocabulary as a warm-up activity or just doing the answer and explain in order to do a check for understanding at the end of a lesson. These are all really simple ways. You don't have to use every single thing that it produces for you. Some teachers use just our like open-ended questions and just one of them as a way to end class. So there's so many different ways it could be used, but that Wakelet, we're always adding more as teachers are sharing how they're using it in the classroom. It's one of my favorite resources to get some ideas and some inspiration.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I know sometimes it's easy to go to Wakelet, like to the DIFFIT Wakelet and just fall down a rabbit hole. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many different ways that I could share with my teachers on how to use DIFFIT. I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So thank you for curating all of those wonderful tweets or X's. I don't know. What do you call them?
Yeah, what do we call them now?
Yeah, I don't know. I hate to call them X's because I'm like, I got a lot of X's. So I'm like, yeah. And it's like, gosh, bragger. So yeah, so I never want to say that. But anyway, yes, Kathryn, thank you so much. Thank you for creating, all these amazing templates. Thanks for curating these resources. Thanks for being just like a great figurehead for DIFFIT and spreading the good word, the good green word. I couldn't wear my DIFFIT shirt today because I didn't want anybody else to feel less than. I know. I love you have yours on. So, but anyway, so thank you very, very much on behalf of the Indiana Connected Educators. Thank you for being with us today. And we hope to be in contact with you and have you at our fall conference coming up here in October. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for continually supporting educators. This was such a pleasure. And, if people have questions, have them reach out to me via X. It's always so weird to say, right?
It is. So,
or like
definitely.
We always love feedback. There's plenty of places when you're in DIFFIT to send that feedback in. We're a small team. We read every single piece of feedback that we get. So don't be afraid to send in your ideas, your questions, all of that. We love hearing from teachers.
Awesome. Fabulous. Thank you so much. I am going to give a quick prop to our conference that is going to be here, our fall conference in October 9th and 10th. The 9th is actually a Coach Con day, which you're an instructional coach, technology coach, any kind of coach, you're going to be able to attend on the 9th for free. And then we'll be setting up that day and ready for the conference on the 10th. So if you would like to attend the conference today, we actually opened up our early bird pricing. So it's only $80 for the day. You get amazing speakers, you get amazing vendors. The food is just fabulous. That might have been our best compliments last year. It's like, people might just come back for the food this year. We don't know. So we're so excited to have our conference back there at Franklin Township, just outside of Indianapolis. After May 1st, then it goes up to a full price of $100, which is still a steal for what you're going to get for that. For anybody that wrote the Indiana Connected Educators Conference into the Digital Learning Grant, the Digital Coaches Grant, we will still honor that $80, even if it's after May 1st. So just let us know. We'd love to have you. Also for today, if you joined and you would like some PGPs, here is the URL, the shortened URL, bit.ly/nojoke41. I said 41 earlier. I'm like, that just, why is it 41? I'm like, oh my gosh, April 1st, right? Goodness. So I'm like, I'm older than 41. That's obviously why I couldn't think of it. So anyway, so thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and would love to see you in the future. Thanks, Kathryn. All right, we'll see you.